Hey guys, welcome back and welcome if you're new. My name is Mandy and today I'm going to go over a little more detail of some of my annual trackers. I recently put out a video, maybe a couple videos back, about my annual trackers. They are in my Etsy shop and I thought it'd be fun as I am actually closing out April and going into May to show you guys kind of how I track my categories. So this is one of the 4 options, or you get all the options when you purchase it on my Etsy shop, but this is one of the 4 inserts that you would be able to print. And this one is my favorite. I'm not going to be able to show you every single thing because that would just be my whole budget, and I don't really share that much of my budget on here. But I did want to show you, as I'm closing out April, how I actually track my categories and put them on here. So this is my favorite. There is this one with the guide at the bottom. I don't have them filled out up here because you can start this whenever you want, but when you purchase it, you can actually get one that starts in January. The other side, now this is something I kind of used as an example in that last video, but these are where I would keep track of my savings. So every month we put money towards our savings or different accounts. So this is kind of an example of that. And we try to keep a track of our account balances. So obviously account balances change, but as we go in that day that I try to budget, around the 1st, that's when I'll keep track of the balance. And then I also use another double tracker page for fixed bills and variable bills. And let's see here. This was the sample that I had used for categories that day in the video. But as you can see, you also get one that doesn't have the guide at the bottom. So you can fill it out however you need. So I just had printed up a couple different options here. So, and again, like this is what it looks like without the guide at all. And then this is what it looks like with the guide. However, a nice blank version that I'm going to use for this video is right here. So let me kind of put these to the side and show you how I am going to do this. So I'm going to punch it with my Happy Planner first, or my Happy Punch first. That way you guys can see how I would kind of, I love that I have the option of putting it anywhere in my budget section here, and as I go throughout the month I am able to move it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys so this is my category tracking pages. Now here is kind of an example of April's budget pages. Now I do have a budget book in my Etsy shop and I will link that below. However, it is just neutral. It doesn't have, the graphics or the coloring here or anything like that. If you guys are interested in more of the graphics, I have created a different one for my planner for every single month. I've just not been sure if I really want to put that out there, and then because it does take some time to put things on Etsy. But if you guys are interested in that, you'll have to let me know, because even if they're not on Etsy, I could somehow still try to sell them because they look different every single month. So I'll show you. This was April. I kind of have like a lavender book theme, and then my May theme is lemon and typewriter. So and I've been using them like this for about 2 years. My intention was to use it for a whole year and make sure that I loved it, make sure that the graphics, felt good. And now that I'm going through my 2nd year of having the graphics and stuff, and I never actually put each month on Etsy just because I'd have to do everything separate. I was like, I don't really know if people want them with the different graphics. They could just get the one that I have in my shop already. So, but just to let you know, this is in my shop. It's just neutral. And there might be some slight changes, but, so here's a calendar for the month. I don't usually use the monthly calendar because I have one, or I have a couple. And then on the other side, I printed it this month anyway, where my category trackers are here. So I'm going to take you through just kind of finishing out here how I end up putting this information on my category tracker. So what I end up doing is, as I go through at least once a week, I check my account and I go through everything that we spent money on. And I check it here that it came out of our bank account. I don't put any check marks here until I have put that information on the category tracker. Now, you could leave it all here and then just, as you can see, like we have the date, the description of where the money was spent, what category it belongs to, and then how much it was. I don't really keep track of balances, since when I'm doing this is when I'm actually checking the account anyway. But whatever the category is here will go under one of these categories. And these categories are usually when I decide on, well, when I've decided on these categories are usually at the beginning of the year, and then throughout the year, some other categories might get added on or whatnot. So typically my categories are listed here. So this is a tracker for category spending. And the year, since it's for the whole year, I only need this one tracker, which is so lovely. So I usually try to keep them in alphabetical order just because it's easier on my brain to find them that way. But as you can see, I have health, beauty, and fitness right here. I'll just kind of try to squeeze that in. Health and fitness, and then B-days. So these are my particular categories that my family and I have chosen. Okay, so pardon if it's a little bit messy here, but I wanted to hurry up for the video. And yeah, so this is basically what it is if you are keeping track of it like from the first time. I obviously do have my own going on, so this is probably not exactly what mine says starting in January, but some things may have gotten added. Now, you wouldn't think so, but this is 19 categories right here. I know that sounds like a lot, but that's how I function, you guys. I have to know the details. Like, as you can see, I have family fun, and then we also have a little bit separate one for food because we spend more money on, like when we go out and about, we might, buy lunch as opposed to what something may or may not have costed to have fun as a family. But if we do go to, say, a carnival or something, that cost would go under family fun. Okay, so back to kind of the basics here is at the end of the month, what I do is I go through my trackers here and I make sure that all of these are checked, obviously, because they came out of my account, and that's how I logged these. But these may not always be checked. And once I put this, for example, our gas spending here, I checked it off because it ended up getting put here. As you can see, gas. So at the end of the month, so the last transaction of April, we're done with that here. Last transaction of April. Now I can go through and make sure that I have all my check marks. Everything has been categorized. I've checked our Walmart card for groceries. I've checked my Target card for groceries or whatnot, and everything is logged. So then my next step is to add up those items. So obviously nothing was spent here or here and so forth, but I add up the items, and then that's when I put it on my category tracker. So it is April, so I'm gonna pretend I'm starting in April, and in auto we spent, this was a big spending month because we had oil changes and registrations all in the same month. So that's when I can look back as the year goes on and notice, wow, April was a big spending month for auto. Why is that? Oh, we had oil changes and registration. So our annual registration kind of thing. So hopefully that kind of shows you right there that it's going to be so easy at the end of the year to look back and be like, what months are high spending months for auto, and so forth. So birthdays were 5812. And yes, I do have to crunch these in, but I'd much rather crunch these in than then have to have separate pages, just mainly because I don't want to have to be shuffling through a bunch of pages to figure this information out. So I'm just going through, and a lot of times this is just my simple, like to make it simpler on my brain. Once I've put it on here, I check it off on here. So home, I spent $41.44, check. Homeschool was $200, check. Medical was $105.98, check, and so forth. So I'll kind of plug a few more of these in so you guys can see how I do things. If you're wondering too what the highlights are about, those things are basically very random. So I actually still need to go through that for my own budget. For example, medical was, honestly, you guys, medical is always pretty random. If there's something on medical, it's very random. There's usually something for medical, but it's not like a regular thing. So that isn't something that I'm too, unless it were like a really big item where we would have had to be like, we got to take from savings, that kind of thing. So that's why I highlight things. If it's very, very random and not something usual, something that actually happened to where we actually had to take from savings kind of thing. And then we had an anniversary. So for example, our dates, I don't have my highlighter right here, but I'm going to have to highlight some things here because we don't usually spend that much on our dates. We just had a 10-year anniversary. Okay, and then groceries, what I end up having to do is sometimes I've separated them on my category tracker, but typically I separate them here and then I combine them. So I don't have my calculator on me. 9 plus 5, you guys are going to see me do some math here. So let's see, 14, 9, 6, 8. Okay, so that was our groceries. Oh, you know what? I still need to add that. So don't mind that number. I'll have to change it. But just for the sake, because of this video, it's more like pretending this is, exactly how I do it. Although I already have my whole other tracker, I'm going to have to do this on my own for anyways. But I thought it would be a nice video to show you guys how I plug the numbers in. And then at the end of plugging your numbers into each of your categories, you're also going to plug your numbers in for your savings and then plug your numbers in for your bills and variable bills, and then all those totals that you end up getting will come down here. So I'm not able to add this up right now, but let's say this added up to $2,500. And then our fixed bills added up to $2,300, variable bills, $1,000. And I would be getting that from these pages that I have been logging in throughout the month for the bills. Like, for example, Netflix, is what, like $14 now? I don't know. So at the end of the month, when every single bill has come out, I would add it up and put it here. And then I would put that much under my fixed bills here. So my savings would go here, and then I would add all of these expenses up and I would put it here. And here is where I would add up our income and take that amount from our income to then get the balance. And as you can see, it's all on one tracker. So I know I wasn't able to show you like the full on thing, process of adding it all up, mainly because I want to keep a lot of my information for our budget private, but I thought it would be helpful to show you how I track just like our everyday random spending and how important I think it really is to track those things, not just your bills, but your everyday random spending, because as I said, I'm going to look back and go, why was April such a big month of spending in auto? And I'm going to remember we had some things and we need to budget for that as we go into the new or future year. So I hope this video was helpful. And if you want to find any other budget videos, especially the one more related to this one, the more recent one anyway, go to my budget playlist. I have lots of past budget things in there. I did keep track of my budget differently back then because I actually had regular income coming in when I was a teacher, of course, so things were different, and those were probably those were the ways I would be budgeting if I had that income coming in. But this is how we have to budget now, and I am so glad I have these trackers. So, oh, and I did feel like I should probably show you my May. Very similar to April, but we have the pretty, you know, lemon and typewriter theme here. I don't usually get to use these, but because we have our regular set of money going into savings. But if you like to use savings tracker style things where you can put like $1 or $5 away every day, this is a fun sheet that comes with May. Here's the category trackers that's empty, since I showed you guys my April one as it got full. And here are our expense trackers for May so far, obviously only a few days in, and that's what they look like empty. And then this is a fun, this basically does what this guide does, but it's a whole page of it. And this is also in my budget pack in my Etsy shop, but there are also different kind of options, and I've even in the past done this once a week and printed it to where I could get 4 on a page. It makes it small, but again, it makes it so you have it all on one page, which you guys know I love. But this basically is this, and I have pretty much gone from not really using these anymore because I don't want to write things twice, to using this. And then as months go on and at the end of the year, I can compare all of these numbers, and we can look into the next year's budget using all that information. If you would like these trackers, they are in my Etsy shop, link down below. I hope that they bless you as much as they've blessed us, and have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to stick around for more. See you guys next time. Bye.